You wake up a year from now and everything is the same. You never did the thing you wanted to do. You never even started. How does that feel? I've always had more ideas and dreams than I can keep up with. But when it comes time to start creating and bring those ideas to life, things fall apart. I go in with eagerness and energy, but after my first attempt, I'm left with disappointment. It was too hard, too uncomfortable to see this beginner version of the art I imagined. And I quit before I even get started. Many quit at this point. We plan and dream and prepare so much that we are caught off guard when we see our efforts fall so short. You may misinterpret that discomfort for incompatibility. Maybe this was a mistake. Maybe I'm not actually cut out for this. We see others' final result, the polished works of great art, and we compare it to our first attempt. But it is our job as creators to push past that discomfort. Every work of art you've been moved by, whether it be a book, movie, painting, or album, has been the result of an artist pushing past that discomfort, creating beginner work, moving through that crappy art stage, making things that are ugly, making things that are embarrassing and cringy, and making them anyway, and getting better and creating more and more.
It's like there's a gap. That for the first couple years that you're making stuff, what you're making isn't so good, okay? It's not that great. Your taste is still killer. And your taste is good enough that you can tell that what you're making is kind of a disappointment to you. You know what I mean? A lot of people never get past that phase. A lot of people at that point, they quit. It's normal to take a while, and you just have to fight your way through that.
It's easy to view creativity as this mystical, sacred act. A spark of inspiration that hits us unexpectedly, a muse that lures us into a trance of artistic genius. Need I go on? And while I do believe all those things about creativity, I also know that we cannot rely only on inspiration to create. In fact, our inspiration relies on us to create a routine and discipline where it feels safe to land. In other words, stop telling yourself that you can't create because you aren't inspired to. If we had to wait for the great writers and filmmakers to finish their projects based on when they feel inspired, we would have no books to read, no Netflix series to binge, because none of those things would be completed. All great art is made because someone sat down and did the work regardless. I'm not saying to force art out. I am saying we need to build our muscle of creativity to not rely on inspiration alone. That we welcome it when it comes. We create a life where we are more open, more aware of it. And that actually happens when we dedicate ourselves to our craft. You spend hours working on your art, you better believe inspiration is going to wake you up in the middle of the night with ideas so potent you have to jump out of bed and write them down. When you're showering, you'll fix that plot problem you just couldn't figure out earlier when you were working steadily on your craft. If you find yourself waiting around for inspiration to hit, you've already closed yourself off to it. To be better creatives, we must consume the art of others. There is no great writer who isn't a good reader, no filmmaker who hasn't sat through hours of cinema. But it comes to a point where we have to consume our own thoughts. We can be moved, inspired, taught by the masters, but then it is our turn to create, to reach into our own mind and soul to find the work that begs to be made. You have consumed enough. Now it's time to create. Stop filling every moment with noise, content, anything to keep you from your own thoughts. Go to the places within you you've been avoiding. Listen to what they have to say. Create from there. I'm sure you can think of great art that has moved you, healed you in some way. So now it's time to let your art heal you. And the therapy you receive from creating your own art may be greater than any movie or book that has shaped you. because you are allowing it to come from inside you. You are allowing it to be your teacher, because you needed to do it for yourself, because you must. When you are at your lowest, it's hard to think about being creative, to reach that inner artist that once brought you so much joy. But that is precisely why you should. You do not need to wait till you have your life together. You do not have to wait for some fantasy of a dreamy desk, put together, emotionally regulated artists sitting down to pen the next great American novel. Use your art to process that darkness. Maybe you will find it brings you some light.